Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Jeff Trenopole from still frigid. At least snow's not coming down. Snow's on the ground, but still cold as hell, Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, if you found the show, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I am up to 839 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. Let's try to get this rolling. I keep seeing 1,000. Let's at least try to get to 900. Let's tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody about Sports with Strawberry Ice. Now, this show and every show is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out their website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. All right, guys, we're going to do some Bengals offensive line discussion today. Like we've talked about a lot, but more in-depth into the guards and tackles. Tommy Lipscomb from Who Dey Nation will be joining me and Jeremy D later on in the show. He did a really awesome post. I advise all you guys to go check it out at Who Dey Nation, where he broke down who's the guys that are worth his top 10, I should say, and how much money they made and everything like that. So it's a good thing to go check out. It's on Who Dey Nation. Now, the Bengals came out with their next-gen stats, which I thought was kind of interesting. And this just, to me, tells you how much talent the Bengals have. Now, the number one next-gen stat play, these are all top plays, was Tyler Boyd, who recorded a top incredible yards after catch with his 72-yard touchdown against the Miami Dolphins. We all remember that. It's where he caught the ball, broke a tackle, and took off. Really the only exciting play in the Miami Dolphin game, and then he got thrown out, which was completely stupid. But you get two. Now, this is kind of surprising because we all talk about how Joe Burrow and A.J. Green didn't connect much. But they connected for two of the league's top 15 most difficult completions of the year. I thought that was kind of interesting. Then we all got Brandon Wilson, who had the 20th longest play in the 2020 season with his 103-yard kickoff TD return. So I always think those are just some interesting stats and things that the Bengals had, because we have more talent than people give us credit. All right, title of the show today is What's Your Dream Offensive Line? Basically, I'm not saying Hall of Famers or anything like that. I'm talking legitimate this year for the 2021 season. Guys that they could draft, guys that they can sign, and things like that. Like I said, Tommy will be joining us later on, and we can discuss how he broke down the guards. But right now, I'm going to bring in my boy, Jeremy D. What up, Jeremy? What's going on, brother?
Not too much, man. Just, reading all these crazy mock drafts and got some pretty cool stuff about what Hushmanzada had to say about, keeping Burrow. Kind of fits into what you were saying about keeping him safe and healthy. And got a little Fields talk and got a little Buckeyes from the last night's Penn State game. So got a little bit of everything, man.
There you go. I want to bring this up. Titus just posted this. Now, I did hear something about this that he said, "What's up, Strawberry? Just heard that Von Miller is going to get cut from Denver. But do you think the Cincinnati Bengals might pick him up on a one-year deal because you don't want a lot of money? He doesn't want a lot of money." You had an interesting take on this earlier today about all these different free agents and stuff that everybody wants. And what was the take you had? You actually
from the post that I had read.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I believe it was from a Bengals group. I want to throw them love. I think it was Bengals IQ something. And Titus, maybe you were even the one that put it out there, man. I don't know for sure, but somebody just put out, Bengal fans, it hurts my heart to tell you, but we cannot sign every single free agent
right
this year, and it has nothing to do with Mike Brown being cheap. We just cannot sign every single free agent that's out there on the market this year. And
exactly.
I thought to myself, you know what? That's a pretty dead-on post, because we get to thinking that sometimes, and then we call Mike Brown cheap and this and that, but we're not going to be able to. And I think we're going to have some good discussion here on offensive line, and maybe adding some somebody like a Von Miller once we get to go on with Tommy here and Keith. What's up?
Keith, going four wide here. Got Tommy was on, and Keith showed up. So Keith's one of our P1 viewers, so I always like to try to get him on there. So Tommy, Keith, Tommy, how you guys doing?
Hey, what's up?
Hey guys.
So I'm gonna get into this thing that Tommy posted. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water real quick. Let me bring it up here. And I thought it was a really good breakdown of the guards. Hang on a second here. I get my computer to work. Wait, up a little higher. Hold on a second. I'll get it there in a second. The guards and how much money they made last year, and his version of the top 10. And I thought, I'm like, hey, you're going to do that much work, you might as well come on the show and we can discuss it.
I love it. And like I was telling him, Tommy, you know what? We'll take guards, man. And I think we can get guards at a great price. I think our main deal is tackles. And we'll get into the tackle conversation. Oh, he left because I was wanting to bring up the tackles with Tommy.
He got further. He's got that West Virginia internet, kind of like you got that Alabama energy.
Yeah,
internet.
I know it. But this is the way I was looking at it. And Tommy, if you're watching, trying to get on, man, hopefully you can. But right now we have Spain, who was a solid guard. We've got Suafilo, whatever. Solid guard, good backups, but we really we've got to protect Burrow. But what I was thinking is this. If we get that $55 million range under the cap, there is a guy that not many people know of who is a top 10 right tackle for the Buffalo Bills, who took a hometown deal to show his skills last year of $3.5 million, named Darrell Williams. And I could see Jonah Williams on one side, Darrell Williams on the other side, Trent Williams,
all Williams.
Would be all Williams. They would be between Darrell and Trent Williams. You would save about $10 to $15 million, and Darrell Williams was a top 10 tackle in the league last year. And I'm thinking, if you can save that money and put a little bit of that towards defense after you fix that offensive line, gets me a little bit excited. After you take Thuney and maybe somebody on Tommy's list.
Right. What do you think, Keith? You've been awful quiet.
I tell you what, this is funny. You know how they say great minds think alike?
Mm-hmm.
I actually made some notes last night about this very thing. And I'm with you, Jeremy. We don't need to spend a lot on free agency to fix this team. Here's my wish list.
All right.
You
what you got?
Get Thuney or Corey Linsley. If you get Linsley, you kick Hopkins out to guard.
Right.
You get Trent Williams or Darrell Williams at the other tackle. Then you have money on defense. And if Sewell is there at 5, I think I probably still take him because he's surest thing in a draft. But to me, if you do this in free agency, then I trade down to get more picks. But the other free agents I would sign, nobody's talking about this guy, Leonard Williams. If you have Leonard Williams on defense next to Reeder and you got Daniels in a rotation, you're going to get pushed from the middle.
Right.
Another guy out there.
Von Bell. You got Von Bell. Look.
I'm talking D-line.
Oh, okay.
He's pushing up the middle, and that frees up the outside guys. That free up.
But you know who else,
Hubbard.
speaking of outside guys, is a free agent?
Who's that?
Bud Dupree.
There you go.
Yeah.
UK boy. And what do you like better than anything else? Beating your best friend and your worst enemy. So, you know,
right.
he probably would love to beat up on Roethlisberger. But in the draft, Pitts or Chase, I don't see you losing either way if you trade down, and they're still there if you trade down. Koromoa, that's my other guy on defense.
Right. That's the guy from is that the guy from Notre Dame you keep talking about?
That's the guy from Notre Dame.
Okay.
And you re-sign Willie J3.
Mm-hmm. Well, mine, I keep going back and forth. And I just, me and Jeremy were talking about this before the show started. And I can kind of see this scenario just for the Bengals' future and to give them plenty of money to sign people on defense as well. Let's just say they sign Thuney. Okay, you got Thuney and Spain as your guards and Hopkins as center when he comes back. You got Jonah Williams, you put him at right tackle, and then you draft Sewell or Slater, and you put them at the other tackle. Which the only thing that scares me about that is you got basically a second-year right tackle, and you got a rookie left tackle. That's the only thing that scares me. But future-wise for the Bengals, those are two pillars that are going to be there as long as Joe Burrow will be here. So I like that moving forward. It kind of scares me at the beginning of the year, but it frees up a ton of money to sign Lawson, to sign Willie J3, to go out and get maybe Von Bell, or go out and get J.J. Watt or Shaq Barrett or somebody like that. Somebody, because they're going to need more push, like you just said, Keith, from that offense or from that defensive line to get pressure on that quarterback.
This is where I'm at, and Tommy, you know, I didn't.
Yeah, welcome back, Tommy. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I don't don't know if you got to hear much while you were reconnecting there, man. But I kind of look at it this way. You know, we've got Spain, we've got Ciravillo, we've got Jonah Williams, we've got Hopkins. If we take Thuney and we go ahead and take Darrell Williams, who is a top 10 tackle, and literally came to the Bills on a team-friendly contract for $3.5 million. He's going to want a lot more than that now that he's a top 10 tackle. But you take him as well, then there's no guessing. Then there's no guesswork on, is Jonah Williams, after 2 years, really only playing one, going to progress into a dominant tackle? Is Sewell going to progress into a dominant tackle? For right now, with Joe Burrow, if we would take Darrell Williams, have Spain at guard, Hopkins, Thuney, and then Jonah Williams, that would leave us plenty of money to sign WJ3 and Carl Lawson, or WJ3 and a pass rusher like Bud Dupree or Von Miller, who's going to be out there. You know, I don't know how you feel about it, Tommy, but that's somebody's got some dogs.
I think pressure.
No. Sorry, Keith. I muted you. Your dogs are barking. Go ahead, Tommy.
Hey, I agree. I don't think that they need to just go out and revamp the entire offensive line, but because they do have some good guys there, some good key players, and I do agree with Thuney coming in, and I do like Williams as well. I really do. This is one thing I've mentioned is Sewell is the best tackle in the draft. You know, hands down, we all know it, but if they can't get him, there is life after Sewell.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not going to break us if we don't get him, because we got Thuney and there's other goods. And I really think at 5 we'll get Thuney or Slade or Sewell. One of them we'll get. So anyway, why don't you break down your list here and how you came up with your rankings here, Tommy?
Okay. Sure. This was just something I wanted to do. The main reason I did this was one of the hardest positions to evaluate is the offensive line. You know, they really don't have a lot of stats out there. They don't get a lot of the recognition like other positions do. So I went through, and there was various things that I did. I used Pro Football Focus, you know, to help get a gauge. I actually watched a lot of video. This list right here took about 5 days to put together, and this is just, you know, of course, it's just my opinion. There's a couple of guys on there, you know, I'm sure people aren't going to agree with, but I'm sure we're all going to agree with number one and number two.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, well, we'll agree with. Just took it down there. Dang. I got too many things going on. I was going to put up the stats here for this is what I like about Thuney. This is the reason I'd like to get him if it'll bring it up. Come on. Hey, nope, not that one. Wrong one. There you go. He has allowed 3 sacks in 2008 pass blocking snaps. That's ridiculous. That's why I want him.
That's insane.
Yeah.
He's good.
So that's why he's my number one guy. Go get him. Go put Spain on the other side. And if you can get a left tackle, great. Which it's not. I would rather sign a left tackle. Don't get me wrong. I would rather do that. But we don't have to. It's not because, like I said, I think Sewell or Slater will be there. So that's where I'm like, Thuney's the guy for me to go get. To me, that's the big key piece. Get him and Spain at guards, and then you keep Serfilia as your backup because, like I keep saying, you need a stack talent. You need a stack talent. So that's where I'm at with this. And I mean, I would love to get Trent Williams. He's probably the best tackle, but it's going to cost a hell of a lot of money. And Tommy,
Williams.
That to take 5 days to do that, I don't think I'd have the patience to do that. But I appreciate the work you put in for that, brother.
It was a lot of video. Like I said, this is just my opinion, and I'm really glad that you put up like the snaps on Thuney because after Scherf and Thuney, everybody else has questions about their ability. Like I really like Lane Taylor, Green Bay. He's a really good guard. He can play guard. He can play tackle. He can play center. He's played it all, and he did really well at guard with the Lions. That's why the Packers brought him in, but he had that knee injury last year. Another guy like John Feliciano. He was a Pro Bowl alternate in 2019. Another good guard.
Warford
had that last year. So
yeah,
you're really paying for the durability as well.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Last year showed that as much as anything, as many injuries as the Bengals had just in general on the team. You want guys who are going to be there for every snap. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Oh, I was just going to say, and you know, you have him at 10, and you could probably put him really anywhere past the top 5, but even DJ Fluker. I mean, you know, a big body, you know, somebody that can move. You know, he's not going to cost a ton of money. I mean, that's a good list right there. My only hope is just, you know, guards, as they always say, you can get a guard in the 4th round. You can get a guard here and there. Well, we need a guard now in free agency.
Yeah.
And we need an offensive tackle now in free agency, I believe, because everybody's in love with Sewell, and I am too, from what I've seen. Everybody likes Slater. I've watched Slater. We played against him a couple times. He shut down Chase Young one game, you know. But if it come down to if we're going to fix our offensive line in free agency, Darrell Williams from the Bills, to me, the 10th best tackle in the league at half of Trent Williams' price, and getting Thuney, signing our players, and being able to still then go ahead and get – you could still take Sewell. You could – but if they're a bust, it's not as bad. You know what I mean? It's not as bad as if you put all of your eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I feel about it,
Jeremy.
Tom. Or if you take Chase, you can go ahead.
I agree with you 100% because the number one priority on this team right now is protecting Burrow.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. And we've all seen, I just got one name for you, Tony Mandrich.
Yeah.
We've all seen the can't miss Andre Smith.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Give me do the offensive line through free agency. If one of those guys falls to you in a later round, go ahead and take him. But address that offensive line with free agency with a known. These guys have produced. Don't take a chance on killing your franchise quarterback because you want to save some money and hope that a guy is what he was in college when you can make sure of it with a proven pro. Then on defense, if you bust through free agency or the draft, it still ain't that big a hit. Because if they mess up on defense, they're not going to get somebody else hurt. They're not going to get your quarterback hurt.
Right.
O-lineman, different story.
I'll tell you, O-line runs the whole offense. One defender doesn't run the whole defense, but the offensive line runs that offense.
Right. Well, I'll tell you my dream scenario. Now, like I said, dream scenario is guys we can actually get this year. I'm not talking about getting Anthony Munoz or bringing these guys back, but my dream scenario would be, and it's probably gonna be the most expensive way to do it, but would we get Thuney to get move Jonah over to the right and get Trent Williams at left, and that puts Spain at the other guard. Like I said, Seraphilia as your backup, and I cut Bobby Hart or try to restructure his contract. That's way too much. But to me, because the most important thing, like we all said here many times, is get that offensive line under control, and we need guys who can be there, who can be there at the start of the game, start of the season, and make it to the end. The guys that aren't injured for now, kind of.
Say it with me, Jeff. The best ability is availability.
Right. That's what scares me about Jonah Williams. That's because he missed his whole rookie year and he didn't get to finish this year. But one of the guys who one of our P1 viewers, the Natural, we call him the Natty. He brought up thing that Jonah might have gotten injured because he had to do more because the guy next to him wasn't as good as he should have been. So he might have been out of position when he got hurt, which I think that's a good point. I don't know for that for a fact, but that's the only thing that scares me about Jonah.
Yeah, and on top of that, too, our season was already tanked. And, who's to say that if we were in it, that he couldn't have played just, to play NFL.
Dude, if we were in it, he would have played, Mixon would have played. It'd be totally different. Yeah. I totally believe that.
But so when you're talking about your dream scenario, offensive lineman, you're going Trent Williams, these guys, right? So would you feel okay going in the draft with your dream scenario offensive lineman, and having our defense the way that it was last year?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm okay with it because you can also draft guys, so it's not going to be the same no matter what we do. So it would depend on what we get in the second round, third round, all that stuff. So it's not going to be the same, but I think if you get Thuney and you get Trent Williams, it's a lot of money, but you still we're talking about how under the cap they are and how much money they're going to have. And they release the guys they've talked about releasing, they're going to have even more money. So even if you do sign Thuney and Williams, you should still have enough money to sign Willie J3 and Lawson. But the thing is, like I said, if you get that offensive line, you got Joe Burrow out there, and you can control the offense, you can control the ball. The best way to play defense is keep your offense on the field. So if their offense, the other team's offense is on the bench, to me, that's the best defense. So yeah, I would be okay with it. It wouldn't be my ideal situation. I want them to obviously add, but I think it could work.
Hey, that's good enough. I was just making banner for the show, bro. I just wanted to see how you're feeling about it.
You're also, by doing that, you're taking the pressure off the defense because they're going to score more points. They're going to take time off the clock. And the defense isn't going to go out there every time thinking, God, we got to get a 3-and-out. If we don't get a 3-and-out, so it makes them better in that aspect. And I want to ask you guys this question because I might have to cut out any time here. My buddy, we're going to go work out, but
you and this workout crap. You always got to go work out. Sheesh.
Flexing, bro. He's throwing those.
Just
put your guns down.
Just throwing this out here. I don't want people
out, guns
their
out.
minds. Okay, I just want your take on it. And honestly, I don't have the answer. I'm still mulling it over. I thought about this the other day, though.
What you got?
Would you trade Joe Burrow for Deshaun Watson?
Hell no.
No. Reason being, Burrow, I think, is going to be every bit as good as Deshaun Watson, and he's cheaper right now. So we have money to play with. If you get Deshaun Watson, you're going to be the same predicament that the Texans are in, I think.
Here's the only reason I would consider it is the fact that Watson is more mobile. And I'm not taking anything away from Burrow. Burrow did a great job. I honestly, looking at that O-line, thought he would be out by game 3, the way he was getting hit. But that would be the only thing I would factor in. To me, it's pretty much even.
On my take, and then Tommy, you can take it away, and Jeff, whatever. But man, the accuracy is there with Burrow. It's not always there with Watson. Watson can run. Burrow can run. He wasn't able to a whole lot. But the guy can throw dimes all over the field. And on top of that, Burrow had the worst team in the National Football League last year, pretty much, other than the Jaguars. And
had them competitive in every game.
That's what you took the words out of my mouth, man. We were literally at the doorstep of winning just about every game Burrow played in, and that is a whole lot more than Deshaun Watson can say. And he had a better team.
Yeah,
I'm just boys.
I say we beat the Texans.
Oh, I know.
We beat the Texans. That was one of the games we won.
Yeah.
So, and that was without. I think that was even without Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Tommy? You're being off quiet. We're all the talking heads here. What do you got, Tommy?
From a performance standpoint, I get exactly where you're coming from with Deshaun Watson. I mean, he is a playmaker, but and here's my big but. Burrow's younger. He is cheaper, from a business standpoint. And I think that there's been a lot of good arguments made about, his accuracy. And he's going to be able to be a playmaker too. My biggest thing with Watson was watch him this past year. I know he's been with the Texans for a couple of years, but look at how he got down, when that team just wasn't doing good. It got to his head. I really don't think that Burrow will let that get to his head.
No, if he still got his head up after his rookie year, I don't think much will get him down. I mean, well, if it's year after year after year after this, probably would after a while would. But like I said, I think the Bengals are in the right trajectory. And I like Joe Burrow, like you said, Tommy. I like Joe Burrow's attitude, and he always believes in his own ability and his teammates, and he always backs up his teammates, which is the number one thing you could do, I think, as a quarterback. You always take all the blame because you're going to get it regardless. The coach and the court first is going to be the quarterback, then it's going to be the coach that gets blamed, and Joe Burrow takes that, and he's good with it. Go, Jeremy.
And he almost does it to a fault. I mean, when you want to talk about Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow as locker room guys, I'd take Joe Burrow 10 times out of 10 because even after, his knee got completely destroyed, he was still out there talking about, his boys in front of him that took care of him. And crazy things happen when people fall over other people and your knee, they happen to fall. I mean, he still wouldn't call out the offensive line.
He could have called out Michael Jordan and said, "It's your fault. We got the stupid sucky line." He didn't say any of that.
The whole year he could have.
I agree with you guys on this. like I said, I wanted to stir the pot with that just to get some opinions. But Tommy made a great point. And you know what? To your point, Tommy, Deshaun Watson, before the season started, when they traded DeAndre Hopkins, he was done mentally.
I pissed him off. Yeah, no, that was his go-to target. That irritated him, and that's another thing too that I like about Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow doesn't. We all wanted to get Jamar Chase because they had that chemistry, but Joe Burrow has proven he's not going to throw it to just one guy. If you're open, he'll throw it to you, and that's to me that's a sign of a very good quarterback. I mean that's what Tom Brady does. That's what Peyton Manning did. They don't just have it to throw it to one guy. I mean Tom Brady 1 year had a Hall of Fame wide receiver in Randy Moss, and he still didn't throw it to him all the time. He had Wes Welker, who had just as many catches as Moss did, and that's what
was Dalton's biggest issue. He's going to Green or Eifert when he needs a big play.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And Burrow doesn't do that.
We're just right at those two guys. Burrow, look, if you really look at it, the first about 3 games before he got hurt, and I know we've talked about CJ Uzomah quite a bit, but he was throwing to that cat more than he's ever got thrown to in his life.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big target. He was getting open, and he wasn't trying to placate to A.J. Green or even Tyler Boyd, who really is a 1A receiver on just about any other NFL team, in my opinion. And he was nailing, Uzomah like it was going out of style those first few games. Sadly, he got hurt, but that's coming again this year. So
we barely threw to Higgins the first 2 or 3 games.
Right. Yeah. You're right.
Exactly.
I want to get to Nick's comment here. I think he's got 2 of them. These are pretty good. I think Wolford could come on the cheap after sitting out a year, get him and Tooney, and then he follows up with let's see here. Guards value has never been higher with more and more great interior pass rushers emerging in the league. And he's right on both accounts. The only thing that scared me about Wolford, I do think we can get him cheaper for that, but he has sat out a year. And when you get older, you sit out a year and you don't, muscle memory and all that stuff. You might lose something without, old saying goes, you use it or you lose it. So that's the only thing that worries me about Wolford.
Well, to that point, though, Jeff, the thing that worries me more about the guys that opted out is right here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said with Sewell and Chase, and the guys that sat out in college. Mm-hmm. Are you telling me that because of COVID, you didn't go to any parties? You stayed in your house, but you're supposed to love football and you're going to opt out?
Well, I understand what you're saying. I agree with you to a certain point. If Sewell, dude, Pac-12, they didn't even know if they weren't planning on coming back at all. They were talking playing in springtime, So I think Sewell was just like, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just going to make a decision and sit out and go on from there. Now, Jamar Chase, he might be a little different because he knew, it could be the heart thing. He knew the team wasn't going to be that good because Burrow left. He couldn't leave. And with the COVID issues and what, nobody knows what's going on with the season. So I can kind of understand what happens because you don't want to take a chance of getting injured your last year of college football and ruining, anything that happens in the NFL. So I do understand that more than I do the guys who opted out in the NFL because that's their damn job is to play in the NFL. These kids aren't making any money in college. They're trying to get to the NFL. So I give the guys in college a little more slack than I do the NFL guys.
Could be agents whispering in their ear too. Don't cost yourself.
Very well could have been. But if you look at it on the other side, look at the NBA, look at the college players that sit out their last year to go to the NBA because they don't want to get hurt. So, you can look at it at that angle too, Jamar Chase being the type of guy he is coming back, but breaks his leg, ACL. Look what happened to Burrow, whatever. I don't really have that because we at least got 2 years of tape, freshman and sophomore on Chase. I believe we only got 1 year of tape on Sewell, so that's why that scares me just a little bit after the Abogwe and I don't want to say Levi, but we've not had the best Andre Smith. We've not had the best luck at tackles. So that's what worries me. And I'd much rather take a wide receiver that sat out all year, that played a year with Joe Burrow, than I would a guy that's played 1 year in college and sat out and is a left tackle and is about to go against grown-ass men on Sunday.
Matt's got on here. He said, how would you react if we got OBJ since there's talk he might get cut? No, I don't want that dude. Nope. I don't give a crap how good he is. We don't need him. Don't want that headache. Nope. I don't want him at all.
Higgins, Tyler Boyd, and bring in,
use that money.
We got Tommy. Tommy,
what do you think about Tommy? Hey, Tommy, what do you think about third wide receiver?
He's got that West Virginia internet that's not working out too good for him today.
What do you think about third wide receiver, Keith?
I'm not in the wide receiver. Okay. I haven't really looked into it much yet, but one person I do like is I do like Chase, but I don't think that they need to go for a wide receiver that high. There's a lot of wide receivers in this draft. This draft's probably one of the deepest at wide receiver that we've seen. I mean, you can grab a guy that has the potential to be a solid NFL receiver in the 6th or 7th round. One that keeps popping in my mind is Devonta Smith from Memphis. And I can't really remember the receiver's name from Arizona State. I'm wanting to say his name's Herbert. He went up against Holland at Oregon. Well, actually in 19 and 20. And, I mean, he owned him. I mean, his numbers against him was through the roof. And I think that a couple of those guys at the end could come in and fill in that number 3. Now, if we want to fill it in at the with the team, I really think Auden Tate.
Yeah, I think Auden Tate definitely can fill that role for sure. And I think he proved that last year once he got a chance to do it. And another guy everybody keeps forgetting is Michael Thomas. He had for like a 4th wide receiver, could be 3rd. Him and Tate could split time. I thought he was pretty good. And I'm not worried about replacing AJ Green. People keep bringing this up. Should we sign him? I'm not worried about replacing him. I love AJ. He hasn't done jack crap for us in 3 years. He didn't really do anything for us this year, to be honest. We can, and like I said, this draft is high in wide receivers and it's high in offensive linemen. So we can get an offensive or a wide receiver in 3rd, 4th round, and I think we'll be good.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But if you've got Joe Burrow, okay, if we take care of this offensive line, go ahead, buddy. Tommy, you there, bud?
Oh, I'm sorry. My internet's still cutting in and out, so I think I'm just a little bit behind you guys.
Hey, Tommy, do me a favor. Try to jump off it and jump back on, see if you get a better connection because you're cutting out big time, dude. Yeah, I can't hear what in the world he's saying. It's slow and it's the
internet, man.
Yeah,
but you know what I went through.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, no, what I was wondering though is, if you're sitting there and we've and Tommy, if you're watching while you're rebooting, or if you're not, whatever, we'll get back to it. But I look at it this way: if say we get Darrell Williams, say we get Trent Williams, and we get Thuney, and we got Jonah Williams, and the offensive line's taken care of, we got backups such as Ciafilo, Bobby Hart, whatever. And we're sitting there on draft day. We've got the 5th pick, and the guy behind us, or a guy 2 spots behind us, says, we're taking Jamar Chase. You're sitting there with Joe Burrow. Call him up. Hey, Joe, this is the deal. Do we move back and take a chance on missing Chase and taking some of these other receivers like he was talking about, or do you want Jamar Chase? What do you think Joe Burrow is going to say to Mike Brown, Duke Tobin, and Zach Taylor.
Are you saying this if they had already addressed the offensive line in free agency?
In free agency.
I think he's going to say go get Chase.
No doubt. That's what I think. I mean,
if they address the offensive line, he's going to say go get Chase. That's because he's already talked about how fun it would be to have him. They say to run it back as what Burrow has said before, and the chemistry they had and stuff. And I think it would be great. I mean, my dream scenario would be if I've said my dream scenario for an offensive line, but if you get get the offensive line fixed in free agency is to go ahead and get Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
At 5 would be great. I don't like the idea of getting OBJ. I just don't. That's not even in the cards for me.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy, you're back, and we're going 4 wide again. We got Natty with us now. What's up, boys?
What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Natty?
Hey, Natty.
So, what do you think about what we're talking about,
guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, look, at number 5, I don't think you trade back, to be honest, because you're gonna get a generational talent at that spot. Because 1, 2, more than likely quarterbacks. Atlanta might go quarterback, and you're gonna have Pitts, Chase, or Sewell there. And I don't know if you give up a generational or like a guy that's going to be on your team for 10 plus years for lesser players down the draft board.
Right. Yeah, that's like I said. The only thing that, like I said, I've said this a million times. The only thing that scares me about Sewell is he's 21. He's played, I think, 1 year of college. That's just with the recent past, that scares me, but it's also not a reason to not draft him. If the Bengals do their homework and they believe he's the guy, then get him. And if you have Sewell and you have Jonah Williams as your bookends with Joe Burrow, that fixes your offensive line for the next 10 years. And I kind of said that at the beginning of the show. I really could see the Bengals going this route, signing Thuney, drafting Sewell, and having Jonah Williams at right tackle, Sewell at left tackle, and you got Thuney and Sewell, or Thuney and Spain at guard, and Hopkins at center. I'd be okay with that, to be honest. I mean, it would scare me a little bit, but if it works, you got your offensive line set for that's Anthony Munoz and Max Montoya again. I mean, that's that's what we had in the 80s when we went to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah. Like we were saying, I would just rather have it taken care of in free agency. And then once it comes to our 5th round pick, Joe Burrow is going to say, give me Chase. They've got that camaraderie. So it would be that much better to me. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. If we do not protect Burrow in free agency, we've got to protect him with our first pick of the draft. Either way, doesn't matter how it goes to me.
All right, Tommy's back. Let's see if we get his.
I see what Tommy thought about it.
Sorry, guys. My internet don't good link in my tower. I guess my LTE just isn't that great right now.
You're good.
But I believe y'all were talking about a Eagle player. All right, good. He is heads above other tackles. I think he's the better. Well, sorry, he's the best tackle.
I can't. Yeah, okay. I'm like, I can't hear a freaking word he's saying.
Hey, dude, that's why we do a show for an hour and we do 5 days a week. So we're here.
Natty, it's just you and us. You haven't been on the show in a while. You been hiding on us or what?
Life. I've been without light for a few days.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Were you down in Texas?
But yeah, from the Lone Star State. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
Cool deal.
Well, I'm glad you're back up and running though. That's good.
Yeah, and then I'm starting a new job soon, so I've been away tending to some personal stuff.
Oh, I got you. That's cool. We'll try to get personal with you. Just hadn't seen you in a while.
Yeah, man. This ain't the Mark Lovett show, bro.
But I want to comment on Sewell. I mean, I've heard that teams have him as the number 2 player on the board. So if you get him at number 5, it's basically biggest need and then best player available in 1, because you don't have guys like Sewell coming out every year, 6'6", 330-pound offensive lineman, just like running out there like a DN, man, like a tight end with that speed. Like that's a rare combination. And if we think Fran Pollock's as good an offensive line coach as he is, then I'm pretty sure he can work with Panay and get as much as he can from him.
Yeah, one thing I hope that I get to watch, since they're not doing the combine this year, I hope when they have the individual workout at Oregon for Sewell that it's on NFL Network or it's on somewhere so I can watch it, because I have never seen the guy live. I want to see him. I've seen, like I said, trust me, the tape that I've seen, he's a freaking beast. I mean, he's just, like you say, he's mauling dudes. So, I mean, I love what I've seen.
That way.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love what I've seen. I just like to see it from my own eyes, you know. And I mean, he's been compared. There was talk when, you know, back in the season was going on that he's compared to the next, you know, Anthony Munoz. So, I mean, that's pretty high praise right there. And, you know, what better place to come to is where, you know, Anthony Munoz played for, you know, 17 years other than here. So, I mean, that's the only thing that worries me is it's just we've heard this time and time again, but it's a draft, you know, so you're taking a chance. And like I said, I can really see the Bengals signing Tooney, drafting Sewell, and have Jonah Williams at the other tackle and going with it, and then spend the money on trying to get Lawson and Willie J3 and get that defense set up. Which, I mean, they still can draft more offensive linemen later on down the line. I mean, like I said, it's a big, heavy offensive line draft and a big, heavy free or wide receiver draft.
Yeah, exactly. And Natty, like I was saying, I would rather take care of it with our huge salary cap. Get a guy like Darrell Williams, top 10 right tackle. Have Jonah Williams, left tackle. Take Thuney. Have Spain and Hopkins. And then you've got your backups, which would be, you know, Ciafilo, maybe even Bobby Hart, those type of dudes. And then still be able to maybe add that guy that everybody's worried about, AJ. I'm not exactly worried about it, but like I was telling Jeff, I think before you jumped on, if we fix our offensive line in free agency and Burrow's sitting there and they're talking to him in the war room, you know, what do you think we need to do here? He's going to say, bring me Jamar Chase and I will bring you touchdowns. How do you feel about that?
I mean, it sounds good to me. I mean, that's best case scenario.
Right.
If we're being honest.
Oh, exactly.
But
Darrell Williams did sign a $3.5 million contract, hometown contract last year to prove that he was one of the best, and he did prove it. Yeah. But it's still going to be half of what Trent Williams is going to want.
I'll say he's not going to sign that again. He wants a higher one. So it's going to cost more than that. But yeah,
it's still going to be half. Yeah.
Right.
But I think you got to watch out what Falcons do at number 4, though, because they got Matt Ryan at 45 a year this year. That's his cap hit. And I don't think the Falcons are moving on from him anytime soon. So if he's not there, I mean, the Falcons could be fielding calls and someone could come up and maybe take a Chase or Sewell if they're there.
Or Sewell, yeah. Yeah, that's the Falcons are the one that does scare. I really do think the first two are going to be quarterbacks. Like I mean, there's talk there could be 4 quarterbacks in a row, which I know we just said Atlanta probably won't. But I mean,
Hey.
There's a story coming out that Atlanta's interested in Justin Fields. So,
well, there's ESPN just has reported within the last hour and a half that they have insiders saying that Houston will be going after Ohio State's Justin Fields as well. So you've got all kinds of quarterbacks.
Well, and the other thing I heard too before when I was watching Fox or ESPN before this, but Deshaun Watson wants to go to the Jets, which I'm not sure why in the world you'd want to leave Houston and go to the Jets, but according to sources, that's where he wants to go. So, I mean, I could totally see the Jets and Houston hooking up something and Fields go, or I get it right. Deshaun Watson goes to the Jets, Texas move up, and they take Fields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's actually what ESPN reported, saying that they have some inside sources to it. So, you never know how the draft is going to end up. That's why I would really like us to spend that ton of money that we have and take care of what we need with guys who can actually take care of what we need, and we know they can.
And this is the thing, Natty, with Atlanta too. You got to think of it this way. Like you said, you got generational talents at that pick, which Atlanta will be number 4. Do they want to pass up on a chance of getting the replacement for Matt Ryan? Because Matt Ryan, let's be honest, he's only got a couple more years. He's been around for a while, so NFL teams are more willing to, I think, go after that next big shiny toy, that next franchise quarterback, than they ever used to be. So I'm not completely sold that Atlanta won't go after the quarterback.
Well, I agree with you, Jeff, but you got to remember, a lot of their money's tied up in Matt Ryan because they gave him that big old contract a few years ago, and they can't do anything with him this year.
Philly just moved on from Carson Wentz, but they took a huge hit. So never say never.
That's true. I'm worried at that number 4 spot because I don't know what Atlanta's doing. If I knew what Atlanta was doing, I'd be like, okay, I think we could take a Chase or a Sewell there, or they could trade back and just acquire a boatload of picks from whoever's willing to give them all them picks.
Right. Well, the other thing you got to look at too is some people have Thuney rated higher than Sewell. So I mean, that's where I'm like, if Sewell's not there, Thuney's in some mock drafts is or Slater. Slater's ranked as high as Sewell is in some mock drafts, because some mock drafts have the Bengals taking Slater over Sewell, and Sewell going to the Cowboys.
I don't know about Slater, because is he tackle or is he a guard? Because he's like 6'3", maybe 6'4", and he doesn't have the wingspan.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
All reports that I've seen, everybody has him as a tackle.
Okay, well, I mean, I like Slater, but I think you have higher upside with this Panay.
Oh no, I agree with you. I would take Sewell over Slater. I'm just saying that's the option of, and that's just what draft experts are saying, and they come out with new mock drafts every 5 days. So
yeah, and it's okay to be scared, because when I look at Panay, I can see Andre Smith. I don't know why. I watched Andre's, although Andre had much more body fat, I guess.
That's just because he ran with his shirt off.
Yeah, but, and I was so excited, big body. Oh, he's quick. He's the fastest. Nobody can get around him. And that was a big letdown for me. And that's the only thing that really makes me think, man, if we could get a top 10 tackle in free agency, take care of a guard situation, then still have Hopkins, Spain, our backups, and be able to do what we want and take the best available, I would be happy with that. But I will tell you what, I do have a quote from TJ Hushmanzada, and he doesn't really agree with about anybody when it comes to taking any players. that will help Joe Burrow other than offensive linemen? If you guys would like to hear it real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
TJ said the Bengals need to focus on keeping Joe Burrow protected. They shouldn't sign or draft any skill players. It should be offensive linemen in the draft and offensive linemen in free agency, because you can find a decent receiver in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th. If the protection is there, Joe is going to get you the ball. So he don't feel that we need to have any sort of extra help, any sort of luxury picks. He thinks we need to pretty much use the whole first 3 rounds on offensive linemen on top of all of our free agency. I don't agree with him completely on that. Not completely, but I can see where he's coming from after what we went through last year. Sat here and called the whole thing, and it happened, and I can see where he's coming from. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think Kush is exaggerating a bit, and probably to play it up for the media, but I mean, he's not necessarily wrong. It's just you don't want to pigeonhole yourself with 5 because you address the offensive line in free agency. Let's say Panay and Chase aren't there, you know, because the Falcons love their receivers. So if they see Jamar Chase, they'll probably take him too. And I mean, I think you could take a guy like a Pitts, and I know people don't like the pick, but he's not a traditional tight end. Like, he can block, but you're gonna have him more as like a big-bodied receiver out there. No one's gonna be able to cover the guy.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of coming around on Pitts. I wouldn't mind it as much, and like you just said, now that goes to pretty much what I've been saying this whole time. That if we fix the offensive line through free agency, like you said, we're not pigeonholed at 5. You know, you can legitimately take whoever the best player there is available. You know, you can take Chase, you can take Pitts, you can take Sewell, you can take Slater. Well, because one of those guys is going to be there at 5. I'll be shocked if they're not. So the Bengals are one of those. I almost guarantee you one of these guys is going to be a Bengal if they don't trade out of the pick. That is.
Well, my thing with Pitts is I watched him a lot, of course, again, down here being in the Southeast. And I just cannot see us taking him at number 5. I'm sorry. Now, if we would move back and grab an extra 3rd rounder and he's still there or something like that, I'd be okay with it. But for us, just straight up, it's Pitts time. 5 at number 5. At that point, I think I would rather just move back and keep adding talent to the team.
I think. And I don't have. I love a T-shirt there, Jeremy. You just came up with a T-shirt there. It's Pitts time, and then you like this. Get your Pitts up. Yeah. Sorry.
I like Pitts. I do like him as a weapon because he's not a traditional tight end, and you could line him up outside, and he could you have Higgins on the outside, you got Izoma and Sample as the tight end, you got Pitts on the outside. That's how you're gonna cover 4 guys all above 6 foot, above 6'4".
And the thing is too, is if they could use Pitts right, we've seen. More and more, the tight end position, I think, is more of a focal point than it ever has been in the NFL. With Travis Kelce and Kittle and Gronk and all these guys, it's always been a focal point. But these guys are like serious weapons, And we had that for a little bit with Eifert. Oh man, yeah, Eifert. If he could have ever stayed healthy, he was that guy. He was every bit as good as those guys were. So. You could potentially have that with Pitts. So that's where I'm kind of coming around that it wouldn't bother me. But like I said, if they fix the offensive line free agency, then one of those guys will be there. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I just want them to fix the offensive line in free agency, then let the chips fall where they may.
And we're also forgetting about Devonta Smith here too. I mean, this guy,
I forgot. Don't forget about him. The Heisman Trophy Award winner.
Yeah, I mean, he can run routes. Yeah, he's small. He's skinny. He's not the tallest kid. And Bengal fans are scared to death, that he's another John Ross. But this kid can run routes. And
this kid was good as a freshman, and he made the catch to win the national championship against Georgia. So
exactly. I mean,
he's got ice water in his veins.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things that we could do in the first round. But I think I just don't think if we feel good with Uzama and we feel good with Sample, we don't reach and say, oh, well, this guy's got some potential. We need to. I could just see us moving back a few spots, getting another great pick in the third round, maybe even a fourth round, depending on how far we move back. And it is what and it's all mock drafts, and nobody's wrong. Nobody is wrong.
It's just right the mock drafts. The mock drafts are just like us two idiots, spending the last 2 months talking about it. It's the same thing.
Natty's not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm not wrong. We're just completely guessing and throwing out what may happen, what may not happen here.
I'll tell you, Jeff and Jeremy, I would move back if Chase, Pitts, nor Sewell are there, and there's a quarterback. Maybe both quarterbacks are still there, and the Jets decide to pass on Fields or Wilson, and then the next two picks are, consecutively are position players or the guys that we're looking at. I move back then because someone's going to call you and they're going to offer you maybe an extra second or a third or a second and a third, and then the pick. And then I think at that point you're good. You just move back.
Yeah. Again, that goes to said again, fix the offensive line and free agent, and then it's open. And like Zach Taylor says, all cards are on the table. It literally would be. They wouldn't have to, stressed out the whole time hoping that Sewell is there. Not that it wouldn't matter, but it would be as big a deal. It could give more options to trade back. I know some people are like, why do you want to trade back? I'm like, well, you trade back one. If you get the player you think that you want, you give at 5. And say you get it at 7. 1, it makes it cheaper for the Bengals. 2, if you could get a second round pick with that, another one, that's even better. It gives you more players, more picks, more money, more talent. And like I always say, we got to stack talent. So it's not a bad idea to trade back.
Absolutely not. I mean, depending on, like Natty was saying, if the guys that are the best talent that we need are gone, there's no reason not to trade back. Why would you reach for?
Don't reach. I don't want the Bengals to reach. They've done it too much.
Exactly.
And
what else you got, Natty?
And that's where I was just gonna say that number 5 spot is the best spot. Well, I mean, if we were number 3, if we hadn't won those 2 games that didn't really matter at the end of the season, would be 3 and would have the best spot in the draft. But that's a different story. Right. But at 5, you have the best spot because one of those players is going to fall to you either way.
Yeah, that's because there's too many quarterbacks. There's 3 of them that are legit, I think, franchise quarterbacks, and then you got your 2 of them below that, or at least one of them, the kid from Alabama. So that's 4 quarterbacks in there that could go in the first 4 picks. I mean, it could. I'm not saying it will. I have no idea, but I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me at all. As much as NFL, the new NFL, and the Bengals have this, you get your franchise quarterback young. You don't have to pay him as much money. You pay everybody else, and you get to win the Super Bowl before you have to pay the quarterback. That's what everybody wants to do.
Well, that's how you win nowadays in the league because people are moving away. Well, because it's not as expensive draft capital like it was like 11 years ago. We're paying these guys like a large contract, and they're on your payroll for like 5 years. And if they don't turn out for you, you're screwed.
Yeah, like
So-
the Rams did with I want to say Sam Darnold, but that's not his name. He was the Oklahoma quarterback. Sam Bradford.
Bradford.
Yeah.
He got the I think he got the richest rookie contract ever. And after that, the NFL players like, all right, screw this. This rookie's coming and making more money than a 5-year veteran. That's ridiculous. Which I agree with him. They didn't do anything, and Sam Bradford didn't do crap. So,
And that's why it's I think Bengals fans should focus on free agency the most this year, I think, because that's where we're going to address the needs. And we're really going to see if the Bengals are serious about winning and trying to put Burrow and Zach Taylor in a position to win, because that offensive line has been awful for 5 years, close to, or 6 years, or like 5 to 4 years. It's been awful. It's just, rotating door of nobodies and failed draft picks. So
exactly.
That's the most important need, is offensive line and defensive line to an extent too. If you can get a pass rusher, this draft isn't too good for defensive players at the top. I think maybe you get value in the second or third round, not so much first.
And I'll put it to you this way, Natty. I think they're going to attack the offseason like they did last year. Last year, you could tell they were determined to fix the linebacking core. They went out and drafted 3 of them, and they signed a free agent. That was their whole focus, to fix the defense, fix the secondary, and fix the linebacking core. I think they're going to do the same thing on the offensive line this year. Jeremy.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do too. I think they're planning on doing that. I think they're going to try to get another pass rusher in here, whether it be a top 3 round type guy, or maybe a guy like Quan Short just to add in the middle. I think we're going to have Trey Waynes coming back. We're going to have Bell, like I said, with another gear.
I can't wait to see Trey Waynes actually play.
Me too. With another great corner beside him.
Because he was supposed to be the shutdown corner for us. That's what we brought him in here for.
Between him, between him and Willie J, that was, but it didn't work out. And now if we don't re-sign Willie J, what are we going to do? Put Trey Waynes and then LaShawn Sims across from him again like we did last year? Not going to work. And a lot of this is also going to come down to coaching. And Lou is going to have to step. Yes, he's going to have to step his ass up, and so is Zach. Because if we spend we did spend a bunch of money last year, we are going to spend a bunch more money this year. We're going to have 2 full drafts under this coaching staff, and if they don't do something, they're going to be gone, because we've got, the way I look at it now, 5 years to go, and we better make a winning playoff team in that 5 years, or we're in trouble.
Well, especially because you, and I'm about to do it, put $100 on them to go to the Super Bowl. So we're going this year, 2021. I got money on it.
I plan on it. Plan on wearing my shoes and everything. I'm ready.
There you go.
I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you guys something. Notice how the Bengals didn't swap defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators, and I think that's a sign of this is your final year, Zach. Because I don't know if they were able to get anybody else outside of the organization to come in and replace one of these guys, or if it's a sinking ship and they're just like, no, you guys are staying there, and we'll just let you all go at the end of the season. I think that was intentional.
Yeah, one thing I'll give Zach credit for, because the biggest problem I had with his coaching staff is his coordinators. None of them had ever been a coordinator before. And even the guys behind them, there wasn't a lot of experience there. Now, the guys that he's hired in the last couple of years have NFL experience. Now, they're not in the coordinating position, but the defensive line coach, the offensive line coach, the linebackers coach, these guys all been in either head coaching positions at somewhere else or coordinators somewhere else. So I think that is a smarter move for Zach moving forward, because he obviously needs help.
Yeah, he needs help after the offensive line got his franchise quarterback hurt.
Exactly.
it's just that needs to be the biggest priority for them, and there's no going around it, trying to be cutesy and trying to get bargain deals. Go pay the top guys. If it fails, no one's gonna fault you for it because they're gonna say at least you tried. At least there was an attempt to try to get your team better, as opposed to the Bengals of old, where, we'll sign a John Miller, a guy that's okay, not a guy you're like, oh wow, like you're really happy about. Like I'm not gonna fault the team if they go out and sign a Darrell Williams or a Trent Williams or something, and it doesn't work out, because then I'll be like, hey, you tried. No one can fault you.
You tried, and that'll all fall on Zach. I mean, at that point, fall on Zach and fall on Armadillo.
And you know what? One quick other thing. I know we talked a lot about the Bengals line and that kind of deal, and I know probably everybody's about like getting ready to go eat dinner and all this good stuff. But we did forget our Zeke of the week. And
I was gonna roll into that, but after I got done talking to Natty, but we can go into it now.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah. I got mine written down, dude. I got mine ready to go.
Okay. I was just thinking we had forgot it, and everybody.
I got mine because I did that to Natty one time, and he really wasn't prepared for it. So I was going to wait till
I was wanting to throw it. I was wanting to just throw it right at him. I was wanting to jump on him.
I was trying to take care of everybody. See, I had your back.
Okay, well, you're good then. You're good. I noticed the comments and thought, well, whatever. But I was going to try to put him on the line, but you got lucky, Natty. You got lucky.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Natty. I'm gonna let you roll on out of here because I'm gonna eat some dinner myself. But I appreciate you
having me.
Me too. Later. Take care, Natty.
All right, now. Actually, I got a couple real quick things I wanted to get into before we get to the Zeke of the week. The UC 2020 football schedule has come out.
Oh,
now I knew that Indiana and Notre Dame were on the schedule. I did not realize they were back-to-back weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting to me. They start the season out versus Miami at Nippert, and the last game is at East Carolina. So it's going to be very fun, interesting season for the Bearcats coming off of last year's almost Peach Bowl win. And now I'll get to the Zeke of the week. Now, if you guys don't know what the Zeke of the week is, it's something that irritates you. Somebody's just done something dumb. Somebody like Jeremy who just tried to just roll over and just do the Zeke of the week before I was ready to do it. Sabotage! But anyway, my Zeke of the week is, I don't know her name, but she's the daughter of the guy who sculpted the Vince Lombardi trophy. And she has been going on Twitter. Oh, I can't sleep at night watching Tom Brady throw the Lombardi trophy from boat to boat. I want an apology. Hey, get out of here. He won the freaking Vince Lombardi trophy. They've been in quarantine, going through all this COVID crap all year. They were cutting loose. So what? He threw it. Who cares? It probably would have floated. It's silly. It's dumb. You lady are my Zeke of the week.
What you got, Jeremy? That's a good one. That's a good one, too, because, my God, we've had trophies been run over by buses. We've had guys dancing around with trophies, dropping them.
Hell, Gronk hit a baseball with one.
Good Lord. Exactly. Give me a break. My Zeke of the week rhymes with Facebook. I mean, it's Facebook. I'm sorry.
See, this is why Jeremy was dying to do this. He was very excited to do the Zeke of the week this week.
You know what? I'm not even going to give Facebook a hard time. I'm sure they watch about just a lot of their content with everybody out there that they got working for them. God bless you guys at Facebook. But my Zeke of the week is Facebook, and only because I'm not talking bad about you, Facebook, but I left a movie quote on a certain group that is a Chris Farley group, because I love Chris Farley. I love comedy. You guys know Jeff loves comedy.
Yeah.
It's what we do,
So we think we're funny.
Yeah. And, Almost Heroes, trying to get an egg. Bird comes. Come on, you damn dirty bird. And
The dog's barking.
exactly. Yeah, you can hear him. So I put in, come on, you damn dirty bird. That was my favorite, part of the whole movie. And that was bullying. Facebook, you should know better. I'm not a bully, but I'm not hating on you. You're my Zeke of the week.
Zeke of the week. And you're out till what, March 15th?
To March 15th.
And to people, I got to tell you, it is absolutely killing him.
I can't think.
Here, post this. Here, post. Hey, go on my timeline. Say this.
I can't do nothing. Can't do nothing.
Can't do anything. It sucks. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream this awesome show every single day. Well, Monday through Friday. They are Who Dey Nation and Ohio State Bucknuts. Two awesome groups. I recommend you guys go join them. Tommy's one of the admins on the Who Dey Nation. It's fun. They have a lot of good topics on there. It's fun to discuss like Ohio State Bucknuts. Same way. Very active groups, very fun groups to be a part of. Also, check out my groups. They are Bearcat Ruckus, which I'm trying to get the Ruckus up. Try to get some more people on there. Radical Reds. And then the Ice Bar is just a fan page or show page, I should say, for me and Jeremy. Like I said, we think we're funny, so we put silly stuff up there and try to make you laugh, try to entertain you, and just things that we find interesting. Then you can also follow me on the rest of my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and me and this weirdo over here do some silly TikToks. 5-star review on the podcast because we'll be putting it on later on tonight. I'm on BeanPod, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. YouTubers, like I said, we're up to 839. That is awesome. Let's try to get to 1,000 as fast as we can. I'll take 842. That'll work too. Other than that, Jeremy D, you ready to roll on out of here?
I sure am, buddy. And want to let you all know this weekend is the Elimination Chamber Sunday night.
Elimination Chamber, baby! Woo!
Going for Roman. No, my bad. Roman.
What?
Roman Reigns. Heck with him.
What wrestling fan are you?
Drew McIntyre.
There you go.
He's going to take the whole thing, baby. That's what I think. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And you guys might just want to keep a peek on the Ice Bar. You never know what we may end up doing. God forbid. And we're already praying for forgiveness from what may happen from now until Sunday night. We're doing it. So
yeah, because I am unsupervised for the weekend. My wife is gone. My daughter's gone. They're visiting people out of town. I spent unsupervised, baby. Woo!
I spent unsupervised, and the Cobra is as well. So you never know.
There might be some behind the berries on the Ice Bar that we do not leave up there. So you gotta be watching it live.
Exactly. So yeah, you guys want a little fun? Just make sure you hit the notification button.
Yes, sir.
When we do go live and have some fun, do that kind of thing. But I am getting hungry. So as always, remember one thing and one thing only, and that is you don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati, so act like it. I did. I had to learn that I lived actually in Cincinnati and not in Cleveland a couple days ago.
Thank God for that.
So go Buckeyes, go Reds, go Bearcats, go Ohio sports.
Who Dey? Joe Burrow's coming back game 1, calling it out. They're going to the Super Bowl. And that's just sports, baby. See ya!